metals and non-metals. Learning about metals and non-metals, their physical and chemical properties. There are various types of materials around us. Some are natural and some are man-made. In nature, metals are found both in the free and in the combined states. The Earth's crust is the source of all metals. You are familiar with a number of materials like iron, aluminium, copper, etc. Metals shine in their pure state. This shining property of the metals is called metallic luster. Gold is yellow and copper is reddish-brown. Aluminium, iron and silver appear white. Metals are generally hard. Hardness of metals varies from one metal to another. Metals can be distinguished from non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. The luster and hardness are physical properties. Physical properties of metals and non-metals. Activity. Take a small iron nail, a coal piece, a piece of thick aluminium wire, and a pencil lid. Beat the iron nail with a hammer. But take care that you don't hurt yourself in the process. Try to hit hard. Hit hard also the aluminium wire. Then repeat the same kind of treatment on the coal piece and pencil lid. You saw that the shape of the iron nail and the aluminium wire changed on beating. If they were beaten harder, these could be changed into shades. We all are familiar with silver foil used for decorating sweets and the aluminium foil used for wrapping the food. The property of metals by which they can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleability. Materials like coal and pencil lid do not show malleability. Can you hold a hot metallic pan which is without a plastic or a wooden handle and not get hurt? Perhaps not. Why? Plastic and wood are not good conductor of heat. You must have seen an electrician using his screwdriver. What kind of handle does it have and why? Screwdriver has plastic handle because plastic is poor conductor of heat. Iron rod, nail and copper wire are good conductors while rolled sulfur piece and coal piece are poor conductors. Metals are good conductor of heat. Aluminium and copper are used to make electric wires. Have you seen wires of coal? Definitely not. The property of metal by which it can be drawn into wires is called ductility. Have you ever noticed the difference in sound on dropping an iron sheet or plate, a metal coin, and a piece of coal on the floor? The things made of metal produce ringing sound when struck hard. Since metals produce ringing sounds, they are said to be sonorous. The materials other than metals are not sonorous. Some materials are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous and good conductors of heat and electricity. The materials which generally possess these properties are called metals. The examples of metals are iron, copper, aluminium, calcium, magnesium, etc. Materials like coal and sulfur are soft and dull in appearance. They break down into powdery mass on tapping with hammer. They are not sonorous and are poor conductors of heat and electricity. These materials are called nonmetals. The examples of nonmetals are sulfur, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus, etc. Information. Metals like sodium and potassium are soft and can be cut with a knife. Mercury is the only metal which is found in liquid state at room temperature, but these are exceptions. Chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Reaction with oxygen. The formation of magnesium hydroxide, that is MgOH2, which is an alkali, changes red litmus into blue. In general, metals form oxides on combining with oxygen. Water solution of these oxides are basic in nature. Now activity. Hold a clean magnesium ribbon with a pair of tongs and heat it over the flame of a burner. What do you observe? Magnesium burns with a brilliant light and gets converted into a white solid residue. Collect the solid residue left after burning of magnesium wire in a beaker or glass tumbler. Add a little water to it and stir the mixture. The following chemical reaction occurs. Now, introduce a strip, each of red and blue litmus papers, into the solution. You will notice that blue litmus unaffected while the red litmus changes into blue, indicating that the solution is alkaline. Does copper also get rusted? I have seen a greenish deposit on the surface of copper vessels. When a copper vessel is exposed to moist air for long, it acquires a dull green coating. The green material is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate is formed on its surface. So copper can rust if exposed to moist air for a long time. Reactions with acids. Let us see how metals behave with acids. Activity. Take 4 test tubes and label them A, B, C and D. Place a magnesium ribbon on A, a thin sheet of aluminium in B, iron fillings in C and a copper wire in D. Using a dropper, add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each of the test tubes. Observe the reaction very carefully. If a reaction does not take place, heat the test tube slightly. Take burning matchstick near the mouth of each of the test tubes. We hear a little popping sound as we take the matchstick near each test tube. Hydrogen gas is released in the reaction of most of the metals with an acid. As hydrogen is inflammable, it burns with a pop sound when a burning matchstick is taken near the mouth of the test tube. Test tube A, test tube B, test tube C and test tube D. Copper does not react with hydrochloric acid at normal temperature. It dissolves in hot concentrated sulfuric acid and produces a solution of copper sulfate and sulfur dioxide gas. Reactions with bases. Activity. Take 5 to 10 ml of sodium hydroxide solution in a test tube. Drop a thin piece of aluminium in it. Take a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. We hear a popping sound. It tells us that the gas that burnt was hydrogen. When bases react with metals, hydrogen gas is released. Uses of metals and non-metals. Metals are used in everyday life for a variety of purposes. They are strong, hard, and rigid. So they are used in making machinery. The automobiles, the aeroplanes, the train, satellites, industrial gadgets all use metals in large amounts. Iron is the most commonly used metal. It is used for making an object as small as a pin or nail. On the other hand, it is used in making big gadgets and in reinforced concrete in conjunction with cement to construct big buildings. Aluminium is another metal that is widely used. It finds use in making household items. Aluminium is also used in making aeroplanes as its density is low as compared to other metals. Metals are good conductors of heat. Hence, they are used in making cooking utensils and water boilers. Metal like iron, copper, and aluminium are used for these purposes. The most important use of copper is in electrical gadgets. It is also used for household wiring. Nowadays, aluminium wire is used for making electrical cables because it is much cheaper than the copper. Gold and silver are used to provide fine electrical contacts in computers and solar cells. Gold and silver are widely used for making jewelry. Highly reflecting mirrors are made of silver since it reflects about 90% of the light falling on it. Non-metals, on the other hand, have dull appearance and generally are not good reflectors of light. The noble metals. Metals like platinum and gold are found in nature in the form of elements. They are not affected by air, water, acids, heat, etc. Hence, they are called the noble metals. They do not ordinarily take part in chemical reactions. Uses of noble metals. 1. Gold and platinum are mainly used for making ornaments. 2. Gold coins were used in olden times. 3. Gold is used for plating silver. 4. Platinum is used in some medical instruments. The purity of gold. The purity of gold is measured in carats. 24-carat gold is 100% pure. 24-carat gold is very soft and used for making ornaments. Ornaments of pure gold break or get bent easily. So, copper or silver is added to gold in the necessary proportion to make designer ornaments. Corrosion. Iron articles slowly get covered with a reddish substance. If copper vessels remain wet, they develop yellowish-green patches. Silver articles turn black. Above examples, the gases present in the air react with the metals iron, copper or silver due to moisture to produce compounds of the metals. This action that wears the metals is known as corrosion. To prevent the corrosion of metals, a layer of grease or oil is applied to them or they are coated with another metal that does not rust. Iron is galvanized, given a coating of zinc to prevent rusting. Ships are coated with enamel paints to prevent the corrosion of the metal sheets by the salty sea water. These paints contain metal surface and the surrounding air. By this system, chemical reactions cannot take place and corrosion is prevented. Alloy, a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or of metals and non-metals is called an alloy. Alloys contain metals in specific proportion. In the alloy, physical properties change, but chemical properties remain the same. For example, when copper and tin are mixed, we get the alloy called bronze. In the alloy, copper loses its softness and the alloy becomes hard. The alloy steel is obtained from iron and carbon. It is a stronger material. Iron, carbon and chromium form the alloy called stainless steel. It is more durable and clean, and it does not rust. Summary: metals are lustrous whereas non-metals have no luster. Generally, metals are malleable and ductile and are good conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals do not have these properties. On burning, metals react with oxygen to produce metal oxides, which are basic in nature. Non-metals react with oxygen to produce non-metallic oxides, which are acidic in nature. Metals react with acids and produce metal salts and hydrogen gas. Generally, non-metals do not react with acids. Some metals react with bases to produce hydrogen gas. Metals and non-metals are used widely in everyday life. So that is all in this lesson, student. Keep learning.